Navigating the jungle's labyrinth, our journey led us to the sacred medicines of Peru. With the jungle as our guide, we delved into the core healing of our shadows, trauma, and fear. The jungle stood as a silent yet guiding witness to our reflections and realizations, weaving her ageless rhythm. In the midst of this timeless dance, we move forward with a newfound connection to the spirit of the wild, embarking on a transformative journey guided by ancient whispers and power of Mother Ayahuasca. Our long-awaited trip to the jungles of Peru. As Mother Ayahuasca calls us home to the heart of the jungle, we have been preparing for our intentions for what we need to heal, face, and call in for ourselves to become better versions of who we truly are. And it was certainly a crucial and perfect time for us to anchor and receive our downloads for our journey going forward as Ascension Activation. We spent 27 hours of travelling all the way from London to Iquitos, Peru. Although we had no sleep and our body clock was completely out of sync, we were just so excited and grateful to finally have our first trip together. Having the opportunity to go around a busy time of our business and lives, we knew we needed to pause and work on our health, spirituality, and other areas of healing. We were both at a ceiling with our healing journey, and although we do work with the masculine energy of mushrooms, we really needed to seek the feminine mother energy from ayahuasca. We have dedicated almost 7 years of our lives being of service to our customers, friends, family and clients, and it was our time to purely be in isolation, in a space to go inwards and dig up some raw, unhealed aspects of ourselves. As we arrived in Iquitos, it was truly a pinch us moment that we had arrived, and at the same time not knowing what was going to happen, which of course can increase a sense of fear and unsafety, but trusting the process at the same time. When we arrived at the collection point to travel from the town of Iquitos to the depths of the jungle, we met our wonderful family for life, as we all embarked on this journey together, yet individually. The coach was an 1.5-hour trip to the retreat centre, and we stopped off for our last refreshments of pure coconuts. And it gave us all a chance to get to know each other and prepare ourselves for the next 11 days ahead. It was a beautiful and encased moment of consciousness to feel so connected and present without having internet and access to our phones. As we became closer to the jungle, we gave a last farewell to our family. It was an intense moment that there is no turning back. The realization that the ego self was definitely starting to kick in, and what we may express as fear is also a space for growth. It is also an opportunity to allow yourself to come out of your comfort to truly expand and shed old energies that may be keeping us from reaching higher versions of ourselves. As we arrive at the Ayahealing Retreat Centre, we felt the welcome, warmth, love and embrace from the plant spirits, the animal spirits, and the heart of Mother Earth, allowing us to enter this sacred space of the Shipibos. Don Miguel is the curandero of Ayahealing retreats. This is his land. His family and the local community are here to assist the retreat with ceremonies, therapies, treatments, and allow them to share all their wisdom, stories, handmade crafts, and healing medicine with the outside world. It was a privilege to have such an intimate experience, coming into a shaman's bubble who is so kind, loving, and willing to spread the medicine.
Little hut. Coming in. Hey. Little bed. Got 2 pets, don't know how. Hello. What's your name? And this is the toilet shower. Wow, wow, wow. These are the tambos that we will be sleeping in for the next 10 nights. We were on opposite sides from each other, so we were not able to sleep together. At the beginning, this was hard to process as we were so used to being with each other all the time. But we knew this was our time to go inside and work on our personal healing. Also, this is a respectful requirement, as before, during and after the retreat, no intimacy or sexual interaction is allowed, in respect of the land, plants, and the medicines, as we needed to be in our own energy. Let's go to bed. During the retreat, it's important for an early night on non-ceremony days. It allows us to integrate and prepare ourselves for the next day ahead. Rest is much needed. Waking up to the symphony of the jungle was such a grounding and heartfelt experience. The diversity of the jungle expresses so much wisdom and healing. Feeling held by all kinds of life, it is such a dimensional place of existence that we can almost feel everything. The longer we stay, the more connected and at one we felt with the lands. We are here in midsummer of the southern hemisphere, waking up to the pleasure of reflecting on our hammocks, exploring the land and the plants with early morning walks for time of silence and reflection, the beautiful sunrise at around 5 a.m. We couldn't help ourselves but to explore and feel at home so quickly. As our first day begins in the jungle, we hope you enjoy this vlog with our personal healings and insights. To see the beautiful work that Mother Ayahuasca, the other plant spirits, and forms of medicines have to offer. You can see how much hard work the shaman and facilitators give during these times. Please note that we are filming as much as we can through our point of view, and we'll be completely vulnerable and authentic, sharing all of our deep, raw healing.
Okay, so this is day one. So last night was quite intense. When I got here on the land, it's so beautiful, but my belly started to cramp. I wasn't feeling great. I started having like the twist in my top half of the stomach that I normally get as it travelled from my gut up to the small intestine. And yeah, I just felt rough, and I know I've not had much sleep, so I called an early night, took her something from the facilitators, and it calmed it down, so I'm glad that happened. But in the middle of the night, I got up about 3. I could hear like a very deep, dark voice in my right ear shouting. It petrified me, to be honest. Brought up a lot, so I kind of went into a state of freeze and was crying a lot because it reminded me of when I was a child and it used to happen to me. So being alone has been something I struggle with. I'm kind of in the middle because I don't like to be around a lot of people, but even though being alone was actually more fearful than being around a lot of people, so I spent a couple of hours just releasing that. I've been very emotional today as well. When I woke up, me and Chris went for a walk, and I told him what happened, and we had a really good reflection together to see where it's coming from. Obviously, as soon as you get onto this land and the plants here are already working with you, Ayahuasca herself, and yeah, I'm not feeling great today emotionally, but we've got a ceremony tonight, so I know it's all going to come up. I think it's the fear of letting go of all of this and working with some deeper parts of myself. I mean, when I did mushrooms the first time, same reaction, belly pain. I freaked out as well, so I'm hoping now I've had a couple of years experience with mushrooms that I can, be a bit more grounded with it. Ayahuasca gives you everything you need. But I've come here to grow and learn. I feel like I'm in a stage of my life where we've let go of our crystal business and let go of a lot of things. find forgiveness, find love, find a lot of stuff. So, it's coming here to kind of nurture that and getting out the deeper layers now. And literally felt it as soon as we got here. But it's so beautiful. I feel like I've not really had time to proper feel that yet because I'm in my head. So tonight, ayahuasca, first ceremony.
Day 1 is complete after 27 hours of traveling. It was pretty insane, 0 sleep. So last night when I got into bed, it was very interesting. The animals were just singing. Don't know if you can hear them right now, but they're still at it. There were animals landing on the roofs, and they were connecting through dreams, and I was receiving loads of shadow lessons. It was just continuous all night long, and then in the dream state you could just feel the spirit of the lands working its magic. It's already working with us. I got a sore throat, but I know it's just energy trying to come up and out. But yeah, beautiful sleep. It was almost like listening to meditational music, but just being in the pure essence. Yeah, I loved it. And in a few hours, I'm going to speak to the shaman, Don Miguel, with the facilitators, and just get a clear understanding of my intention for this retreat to sit with ayahuasca and all the other plant medicines that we're also going to be working with for healing, whether it's the mind, body or spirit. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm just going to lay on the hammock for a few hours and really dig deep to explore what it is I need as all the energy arises. And then tonight we have our first ayahuasca ceremony. Ooh, it's all coming, it's all rising.
So today we have our consultation with the facilitators and Don Miguel, and we're going to go over all of our concerns, disease, ailments that we need healing for. What I really love about this place is that not only is it just about the medicine, but it's the other medicines that complement you as well as an individual. The medicine man, Don Miguel, lives here on the land with his family. They're really beautiful. They make us food, they do the laundry. It's just a lovely place. You feel so nurtured in so many ways. So consultation, the things that I've written down are definitely what happened last night. That's triggered my childhood fears, my stress, my anxiety, my PTSD, my depression. It's brought up the ancestral stuff for me. The issues of my gut, so IBS, autoimmune disease. Obviously that's from my breast implants, but it's kind of not gone yet. So my gut's been a big thing, not just emotionally, but spiritually and physically. My diet is so restricted because of the amount of allergies I have. All of my sinuses, my tonsils, my polyps in my nose, and my womb has been a massive one, hence why of course I'm on this womb journey. So we'll see what happens in the next 10 days, and We were split into 2 groups to have our consultation with Don Miguel and the plant medicine facilitators to see how they can help us with our physical, mental and spiritual ailments that need the support and healing. During this time, the other half of the group enjoyed the morning walk to the sacred Noyarao tree, which is also known as the Tree of Light. There is such a beautiful indigenous story that is told with the spirit of Noyarao. So far, Don Miguel has only come across one on his land, and she is making her appearance as he thinks a second may have been found. She is here to bring such light and healing to the world. Noyarao chooses when she wants to be found. During this consultation, we found out which master plant we'll be on a dieta with, which will either be Bovinsana, Noyarao or Chuyachaki. And both of us have been guided by Don Miguel to work with Noyarao. During this time, we are also working with healing plants and natural treatments to aid what we came here for. For me, I came here to remove deeper layers that I really have struggled to face, especially with my mental block, with my ability of self-worth, strength, mental health attributes, but also my womb dynamics, and the missing bridges to the path I am meant to be walking. For Chris, It was about releasing trauma, fear and programs which no longer serve him. And he wanted to experience working with the jungle plant spirits. This beautiful jungle walk is filled with so much love, life and tranquility. You may be questioning why some of this part of the rainforest has been burnt down and no trees are there. So the quality of the soil in the jungle is not enriched. The keepers of this sacred land have a particular way in rebuilding and improving the quality of the trees, medicine, and bearing fruits. We wanted to share some information about the chacruna plant that we was able to see here near Noyarao. The leaves of the plant, also known as Psychotria viridis, are used to make the well-known drink ayahuasca. Chacruna without an MAOI has hardly any effect on our body.
We are preparing for our first ceremony now. We are nervous but super excited. On the first ceremony, Don Miguel holds the space where we all take a small amount to see how well we cope with the medicine. Ayahealing retreats are trauma-informed and they truly make you feel safe knowing you're in the hands of qualified professionals, assisting you if you need guidance and support during your ceremony. At the beginning, we are prepared with mapacho, which is pure tobacco to cleanse our energy, a Palo Santo smudge, and an Agua de Florida blessing by Don Miguel. First ayahuasca ceremony complete. And it was very, very difficult, but exactly what I needed. It began in the Maloka. Miguel, the shaman, and the other facilitators set the space. We began with cleansing. We then got called up one by one to have a glass of ayahuasca, which was almost a primer to see how we can all handle it, if we should gauge it at a certain amount, because everybody's on different levels. Thunder and lightning. And as soon as I drank it, within 20 minutes, I just look up at the Maloka, the roof, and I see this grand grid. And the grid line was just coming down, and I could see it that it was a veil thinning to the other side. And as I reached up towards the veil, a higher being assisted me. And as it pulled me through to the other side, everything switched over dimensionally. Everything was frequency. And instantly it took me to the shadow aspects of myself. I was being tormented. I was pretty much having the piss taken out of me, but it was just a reflection of me, my mindset, and how I operate. So as it started to bring up loads of vulnerabilities and insecurities from my childhood, all my fears were being amplified. I could feel it on a core level. The ayahuasca took me within. And the best way to explain it was all these mini versions of myself, all coexisting in different spaces within my energy system, and they were all slugged over, they were all lifeless, and they've given up, and just life's too painful for them, so they've just pretty much carried on and broken down over time with zero life force. And then I was shown that these parts are parts of myself that I've been running from. I didn't realize how fearful I actually was. Didn't realize that I have a serious case of escapism. When I can't handle an amount of stress, my hands fidget and I instantly just want to leave the room. And this started presenting itself as the ceremony was going on. I could feel that I needed to go to the toilet, but I knew that was me running from myself. So it was an internal battle. And then ayahuasca took me into my ancestral family tree. And we went deep into all the programs that exist within me, within my family, and all the ancestors above. And how small traits have carried through the frequency lines, and we've absorbed it into our being. And it basically stems from trauma. So I had to dig deep and really rip these layers off. And as I was being shown how to breathe into the medicine, Miguel, he was singing in Caro, and it was guiding me back to the light. However, there was always obstacles and mischief of other beings that were trying to pull my attention away, which was causing a split in myself and fragmenting my consciousness. Because as much as I'm all for the light work, let's be real, the darkness has been pulling me in for so many years. It's just fascinating, and I really got to experience that. Okay, this is something that I now need to work on, because I know what frequency I want to hold. And it's not about being scared of your darkness, your shadows. I believe it will always be there. It's just how to create a boundary between the two and not overfeed one or the other. So I took this time to really release all this energy, and it was energetically like these canisters of empty systems that I could fill all of my trauma, programs and fears, and I was filling it up. And as I was filling it up, I could feel it leave my energy system. And then it just blew me away, because every time I needed to purge or to be sick, the shaman Miguel, he was actually vomiting for me. And this was going on for 6 hours. I felt really bad because I couldn't physically move. I didn't want to go to the toilet. And then Mother Ayahuasca was teaching me that it's all just frequency. So release your bladder energetically. And it kept doing that. But I was still in this escapism really in my head. And it took me back to all the abuse, betrayal with certain people close to me, and I could really forgive them because I now understand where they come from, and hey, it's within me also. So I instantly removed this whole victim and judgment mentality, and I actually shed probably about close to 10 litres of tears, just constantly crying from 6 hours worth. And I could feel the compassion start to come back for all these people that I felt have been unjust to me, because I'm all about balance. And I think, yeah, you could say I lost that part of myself during this whole journey. And spiritual bypassing came up, being hooked onto certain methods that just don't resonate. And when you reach the cap in the spiritual journey, it's trying to show you that there's something more trying to come through, because you're ready for the next layer. And I really got to feel that on a cellular level, as my body was just vibrating, all my nervous system was just shaking out all of this distortion, and I was just constantly shaking, and it was all multi-dimensional. So even though I was having my moments of divine energy and God source, I was still having these moments where these jester beings were just mocking me because I take life way too serious at times. And it was just saying, hey, smile, and you've shifted your whole energy. And as I did that, these beings would just dissipate. And I was like, okay, I see here, everything is the mind is your reality. And this whole journey is just about evolving consciously. So it was really intense, and it got to the end of the ceremony, and I had to start tapping back into the physical body. So I went to the toilet by myself, and so I felt that I completed this little test with myself to see if I needed a facilitator to come and take me to go toilet, because I knew I wasn't finished, but I knew I needed a break. But really, deep down, I needed to release all of this fear. It's been haunting me for way too many years, and it just feels so nice to breathe into a fresh energy system. And I'm super grateful for the space that we had. It was perfect. So that was session 1. I was knocked out all night, didn't really get any sleep. So yeah, you can see from my face I'm a bit mashed up, but we're still going. Then there was also this part of my inner child that started to come forward, and it just wanted this masculine energy to really amplify and become very primitive. And I think this, going back as a kid, I felt wanted that brother role, just to like play, fight, look up to, and all of that. And it was really humbling because I got to actually nurture that side of myself last night and really get to grips with, it's okay, sometimes you need to be your own teacher. And Spirit was showing me that, hey, it's super easy to sell out and become part of the darkness. And this is the hero's journey that we all are undergoing. We're all on this spiritual quest to become a better version of ourselves and become self-empowered and to live authentically in this oneness. And I really, really feel that the plant medicine, nature, and all these ancient rituals have really just found a place back in my core and my heart, that it's just a dream to be here and experience it. So they were just showing me to give that little bit of love to everybody who passes you, who you come across. You never know what they're going through, just as if these old versions of my programs that I loved and had to release and transmute into love. So it's just completely eye-opening, and there's a lot of liberation, and I can really feel that it's already starting to transform my mind, body and soul so quickly. So yeah, super excited, super tired, but this is part of it. Thank you.
So last night we did day 1 ceremony with Ayahuasca. It wasn't what I expected. You can never prepare for this stuff. I've realised you try and control it and it just doesn't go your way. What a breakthrough, that's all I can say. I got taken to the darkest places that I've been running from for years. I got to see everything on an ancestral, parental, masculine and feminine level. That were within me as well. It was really interesting because I was fighting so hard against it, and the way she worked with me, like she gave me the nurturing I needed to, she guided me to love myself and reclaim my power, because I've never had it. I've always given it away, and I've really confessed to some dark stuff that I once was ashamed of, but now I understand it, and I've forgiven myself and I've forgiven others. It's so easy why people would want to escape while they're under the medicine, because it's frightening, you've been put in a vulnerable place and we want to control it. But the medicine always gives us what we need. I've learned so much about myself in one ceremony, and we've still got another 4 to do. I feel like she showed me parts that I tried to black out and suppress because of the emotions and attachments to those scenarios, and to have a better relationship with myself. Trust, a really big thing. I don't trust myself, and that means I don't trust others. How can you trust anybody? How can you love anybody? How can you truly embody those beautiful emotions when you've never felt it or accepted it in? I realised that in the ceremony I kept cloaking myself away from the Icaros. I was like feeling shame and guilt. I was embarrassed. But it was the breakthrough, like when you stop fighting and you breathe through it, because it's intense. I mean, I only had like less than half of a cup, a shot glass. But it was amazing to feel the collective energy as well. there was always something in somebody that you can resonate with, whether it's big or small. There was so much going on, it was so dimensional. You know, I had a massive fear of medicine, being under psychedelics, but that's gone, completely gone. You know, I started to get better with mushrooms, but ayahuasca's broke it for me, because she made me realise that it's nothing external, it's me running away from myself. So I couldn't run anywhere, and well, I could only return back to myself, and so I did. And right now I'm just sort of sitting here working out how I'm going to implement those changes, and it's a process that sticks to you like glue. Like the amount of crying and releasing that happened. I mean, to be honest, I didn't actually vomit. I had like a tiny bit once, but I was like pinned down for like 8 hours, 8 hours, just facing my shit. I'm actually really proud of myself for honouring my shadows, honouring parts of me that I tried to cover with love and light. This has really broken me down so I can rebuild in truth, fully truthful. My past does not define me. It's allowed me to grow, so everything that's happened to me or allowed to happen, it's been the best teachings I've had. I'm my own teacher, as well as the medicines and the facilitators and the collective, but I'm honouring that power for myself for once, because I did it. I fucking got through it, and I'm much more stronger than I think. See, a lot of worth came up for me as well. Like, I have no self-worth. I've dropped so many ideas and creativity based upon judgment and never feeling good enough, or comparing to someone who's like top league or sort of whatever it is, whether it's creating macrame or music, whatever it is. You know, the sabotage is like on a loop. You're stuck in it until you break it and you face it. And so after that, I just spent a lot of time holding myself and nurturing. I got taken through the whole womb experience. I had pain. It was unbelievable how much was happening in those hours. But I've never felt so free, more connected to myself, but also connected to my relationship. It was beautiful that me and Chris were connecting during the ceremony as well. There was this like assurance, you know, and something that I kind of never really felt before. Because when you have personal power, you don't need anything externally. And something the medicine taught me was, you can give love, gift love, but don't give it away. A gift is, the way a gift was taught to me was, you're not taking something from yourself. It's not, in your reserve. So it's okay to gift love, but don't give, because the taking, you'd be left with nothing. And I experienced that in my body last night. I experienced the anxiety and the numbness from my stomach down. I was shaking all the energy out. The trauma was just leaving my nervous system. No doubt there's going to be more over the next few days. Well, 2 weeks we're here. But it's made room, and I'm receiving downloads now from my path and our path together. So there's a liberation. Set yourself free. Other people's judgments, they don't matter. I beat myself up for my whole life with caring about what other people think, and the medicine tricked me into that. She was kind of there's a lot of jesters and clowns, like Jigsaw, making me question everything. I even questioned my career, I questioned my spirituality, questioned everything. She stripped me back so good. She literally swiped me from under my ass. But I'm really glad I did it, because there was many times I was going to call a facilitator over and say, get me out. But I stayed in it and I pushed through everything. So I'm really grateful for this experience, and I look forward to see what's coming next. Tonight we took a walk to the Noyarao tree, where we all went together to connect with her. It was incredible to hear the diversity with the insects and animals that came alive during the night. We were assisted safely by the night guards, from the beginning of the walk until we returned back to our tambos. Noyarao has these delicate little petals. It was super difficult to capture on camera, however they glow in the dark. We couldn't believe the iridescent glow that she shares, and this is why she is called the Tree of Light.
Chimichurri.
And that's the master plant that Don Miguel has chosen for me, which also is the Tree of Light. So far they've only discovered 5 of these trees. They don't like to show themselves to just anybody, anywhere. People are still looking for them, but they do pop up when I suppose they're ready to bring light in and work. So I went to visit the tree tonight to connect with her. I felt this very soft, gentle energy, but very powerful. It's almost like soft but a little so that was really nice. And her leaves glow in the dark. It was amazing to see. It's like something out of an enchanted forest. So we're on this dieta now, so we have to take about 4 times a day. On top of our consultation, we had the diagnosis of the plants we need to heal our ailments, emotional, physical, spiritual. So we're doing this now, tomorrow, before ceremony, with fasting. And we're going to be working with mapacho. I got this pipe today from the community here who handcraft, which is so gorgeous. I've got a snake. I think it is an anaconda. But it's just so beautiful. So yeah, we're working with mapacho, and we're going to set intention. And we're going to set intention for what we need, what we were asking for from the plant. So we've got to have full focus, concentration when working with your master plant. So of course my intention was to connect with my divine feminine light, to bring in the wisdom, teachings and healing for the path of womb awakening that I am embodying at the moment. So she's more like a herbal tea, she's not psychedelic, but she's a strong spirit, and she's beautiful in real life as well.
Good morning, it's 5 a.m. and today is a very, very big day. So before we arrived at Peru, we were doing a post-dieta, which me and Talia find quite easy because we're plant-based, so we've eliminated most things anyway. But there was a few more things like no negative content, no sex for 2 weeks. You have to pretty much isolate yourself and just be in your own energy. At this point now, we are completely eliminating oil because we need to take a lot of plant liquid in, and oil and water mixed together, obviously it floats and we can't get to the core. There's also no salt because the salt destroys the plant's energies, and the same with sugar. So what we've been having so far is just really bland foods once or twice a day. So when we worked with the shaman, he told us to have a look around the land and just explore, see what you're drawn to and connect with your master plant. This is all around ayahuasca ceremonies. So now we get to work with a master plant, and we're quite blessed here because he holds a lot of master plants on his land. And went into the jungle and we discovered a tree which is basically a super rare tree that not many people can find. Don Miguel actually has 2 on his land, so we're very blessed to work with that. And as I touched the tree and connected with its energy, I just saw a beam of light shoot down and instantly hit my core. And when you translate, the name means tree of light. So this tree is very powerful because at night time the petals actually glow in the dark as well. Obviously I think that's where it gets its name from. So I also was drawn to another plant just behind it, which was a thorn bush. But when I spoke to the facilitators and shaman, they said, no. The thorn bush is for sorcerers. It's a very powerful plant. However, if you haven't cleared enough emotions or baggage in your energy system, then the darkness can consume you. So they were like, yeah, avoid that plant for now. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just work with Namarea. So every day we have to work with this master plant. We have to drink, I'll show you, to have about 3 to 4 of these a day every other hour, which is quite a lot. I went for a jungle walk yesterday and these are the little leaves from the tree. I also had a few of the shaman's family come visit us yesterday, and they handcraft all these pipes and instruments, jewelry. So this is actually made from my master plant, so I bought it because we now need to work with mapacho, which is pure tobacco without anything in it, which is very, very powerful. It helps clear a lot of stagnant energy. It's a purifier, and the reason why we're using it with our master plant is because it carries intention. So that's how we're going to open the space before working with our master plant. Today I think it ups in difficulty because we actually have to fast, which means no food at all. We're just going to be working with our master plant and ayahuasca, as well as they're going to be coming around with a lot of herbal teas for our treatments, that we all have individual ailments that we need to heal basically. So I'll do a video on that as well as it arrives. It's going to be freshly made, and the point of it is just to purify ourselves even more. We're doing a vomitivo, which is basically drinking there's a few different types of plants such as dragon's blood. We drink it and we down 2 liters of water, which makes you purge and just puke it all up, or you can also poo it out the other end. Some of the vomitivos actually make you purge both ways, which can be quite intense. But again, it's just getting to the bottom of your core with all the energy. You just needs to eliminate out your system now. And later on we're going to be doing a plant sauna. So the shamans are going to freshly pick some herbs, and it's just going to really infuse us, eliminate all the toxins in our body, and the vapor is really going to be able to get in, which already I'm having a lot of symptoms such as runny nose, my throat's still very, very sore. I have the chills, hot and cold flushes. So it's going to be interesting having no food whilst drinking and working with all these plants. And after that we actually have Ikaro training, which is the songs the shamans use during ceremony, which is very, very powerful. And he's going to be teaching us a few of those to give us the chance to also sing and connect in ceremony with these energies. So that's very, very exciting. At 7:30 tonight, we are doing our second ayahuasca ceremony. So it's pretty back to back today, and we're going to be more purified. So I'm wondering if the dose is actually going to hit us quite hard and it's going to be quite challenging. However, it's what we need, not what we want. So big day. I'll keep you posted. See you soon.
So today this morning, we're going to be learning Icaros. So we're just getting ready for class.
Es uno de los Ícaro es uno de los cantos son uno de los instrumentos más en este trabajo o este camino de dieta.
So yeah, the Icarus and the singing are one of the most powerful tools we have in our dieta.
A veces cuando llega la mareación de ayahuasca, estamos solo resistiendo la ayahuasca.
And yeah, it's so important that we sing while we have the effects of ayahuasca, because really it just makes our healing kind of much more powerful. Sometimes we just keep silent when we just when we just go through ceremony. But actually it's very, very good when we are able to sing, even we are kind of tired, dizzy, just kind of fighting or dealing with the effects of the
Neska shaman king, neska shaman king. Yora pari abano, anayo pari bano, ponte yo pari bano, canobo ponte bano, yo shaman king. Yo shaman king. So shaman king. So shaman king. Nete pari abano. Neska shaman king. Nata shaman king. Nata shaman king. Yorabo abano. Payanyo paribano, inyo paribano, manayo paribano, Neska shaman king, neska shaman king, yora pari abano.
Ustedes, ¿no?
I'm very pleased to see this collaboration and just to see you singing. It really just makes me really excited. And when I just hear you singing, and it just makes me very happy. And it really just gives me more willing to work and just to teach you.
I can start off by sharing a little bit about I think it was one of my first dietas early on. I read this gigantic book called Singing to the Plants while I was dieting, and it was written by an anthropologist in the 80s or 90s or something who just went around the Amazon for many years and tried studying what these guys are doing. He analyzed everything from the tobacco to the songs to the plant baths to everything. And after I got through this whole book, I realized that the book didn't help me at all, because while it was fascinating, it was from through the lens of an anthropologist, right? Trying to understand something from the outside that's really happening on the inside. But one of the most fascinating things about this type of work out here is the Icaros. And what I remember from that book was the whole chapter on icaros and medicine songs. And shared a bit about this with some of you the other day, but it's useful to share with the rest of you now. From the perspective of the Western mind, when it comes to sound and music, especially music, we don't realize that we're kind of entrenched in such a box of how music and sound is supposed to sound to our ears. So, for example, we have time signatures like 4/4, 3/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1/2, 3/4, or 3/4, 1/2, 3, 1/2, 3, 1/2, 3. There's an entire math behind the way we use music, and then we have scales. You know, like the piano with all the different scales and keys and major and minor and all this. And this guy's chapter on the icaros was just like a complete disaster, because he was basically just saying like he tried to boil it down to science, but it just didn't really make sense the way they were doing it. So he would list off what they're doing, but to us it doesn't make sense. And that's why before you drink ayahuasca, maybe some of you heard some icaros, some recordings online or something, maybe you felt something with it, but to most people, trust me, go home and show some of your friends icaros from shipibos especially, and they're gonna be like, what the hell is that? It's not music, right? So when you listen to Don Miguel tonight singing, I mean, you shouldn't really analyze it with your mind, but it's useful for me to kind of explain it to you. You can see how he's not following time signatures. He's not musically trained the way we are in the West, right? His ear is not trained that way. He receives music and sound directly from the medicine and directly from nature. Why do they, why do they use these icaros? He talks about it so, like it's so matter of fact and so obvious. It's the plants. That's what they want us to do. And often we might think, humans started drinking ayahuasca and then they started singing because, I don't know, for whatever reason they thought that'd be cool. If you ask any indigenous people that have been working with medicine for a long time, they're all going to tell you, doesn't matter what tradition or lineage it comes from, they're all going to tell you the plants told us to do this, ayahuasca told us to sing. And that's why singing is so popular in ceremonies, even just ceremonies without plants, right, all over the world. And we can look at medicines like kambo, for example. Some of you might be familiar. It's the frog poison. Also comes from the Amazon here. This medicine, nobody knows how old it is. It goes way, way back. We don't know the first recorded use of it, right? How on earth did people living in the jungle a long ass time ago figure out that there's this one frog in this giant Amazon where if you tickle its belly, it secretes this very specific poison out of its back with very specific peptides, and if you just burn very lightly little holes on the skin to expose the lymph and put the poison on, they would have these unbelievably magical healing properties to it. You can, if you were like me a long time ago, you'd just be like, yeah, well, they figure things out after a while out here, right? Some coincidence, right? Talk to them, and they will talk to people that work with kambo, indigenous people that work with kambo, and they're going to tell you the same thing. The plants told us, nature told us. Go find that frog. It's going to heal you. Similarly with ayahuasca, it's interesting to know what ayahuasca is made of. It's actually two plants. One is the ayahuasca vine, which is an MAO inhibitor. That essentially, it's not psychoactive whatsoever. All it does is it inhibits specific enzymes within our body temporarily. So it kind of creates a window for certain things to come through in the system. The other plant in combination that creates the brew that we're all drinking ayahuasca is the chacruna leaf, which is extremely rich in DMT. So DMT is the psychoactive component, but only, and I mean only, when you combine these two plants and you brew them in a specific way, does it create this mystical experience of this thing we call Mother Ayahuasca. Whether we perceive it as the grandmotherly figure, this feminine energy, or to some people it's kind of alien-like, just comes from somewhere else, But this mystical experience with this spirit that clearly wants to help us, clearly wants to heal us and guide us. And again, if you were like me years ago, I was just kind of like, yeah, well, at some point thousands of years ago, some people were brewing 2 pots, and maybe one guy knocked one, and it went in, and ayahuasca, right? But trust me, if you sit with these medicines more and more, and you see what they're revealing and what the intelligence is behind it, all of a sudden, all the things, the Shipibos, the Matses, all these tribes, the Yawanawas, all of them, all the things they say, which we kind of think of as myths, start to make a whole lot more sense. Just think about the unbelievable amount of species of plants in the Amazon, and it's just the combination of these two. And primitive people in the Amazon just came across that. I don't know. I tend to lean more towards, their understanding of that they are connected. They are one with everything, and that's how they evolved. And we did too. We've just, maybe gotten a little bit separated from it, forgotten a lot of that.
Ceremony number 2. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't feel nervous today. I'm going straight in for womb healing, personal power through my womb, creativity. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just let ayahuasca guide me through my womb. There's going to be a lot there to release, I know, but I know there's something really beautiful waiting on the other side. Apart from that, today's been another great day. We did saunas. We started taking our master plant, like 3 to 4 cups so we can work with the medicine. And we also taking our medicine for ailments. So I had my one for trauma, the other one I can't remember off the top of my head, but the other one was also for my sinuses. It's interesting because when I woke up this morning I had tonsillitis and so much mucus, sore throat, it was not nice. So when I took the medicine, I really was scared of it at first because it was like liquid being squirted up my nose. I did a tiny bit. It was so intense. It was only like a dot, but it's cleared a lot up. I feel a bit better. I'm a bit more husky now, but I feel like it's also happened because there's something that needs to come up and out. Something's waiting to break through, so we'll find out after tonight's ceremony, and we'll catch up tomorrow.
As you can see, it's a little bit rough today. So as you can see, I've clearly started my treatment. We've been taking a lot of holistic remedies depending on all our issues or problems from a very young age. And for me, my lower back, my throat, I've had a lot of release trying to come out. So we've put some ginger leaves and chili, same for my lower back, and it will just draw out all the inflammation. And I'll be receiving a massage for the bones and all the skeletal system issues as well that I've been having since pretty much a kid. So it's really powerful, and every minute it's getting stronger and stronger, the burning. However, I much prefer this way of healing than taking a pill. That's for sure. So yeah, today we started a lot more herbal remedies. So we're really chucking down a lot of plant medicines, and they're in forms of teas and other ointments, which is super powerful. There's a lot to consume. It's probably taking up to 4 to 5 liters a day right now. However, it's really, really assisting us with all this pain. So I couldn't ask for anything better, and I couldn't ask for anything better because it's really getting to the core of the problem rather than just sticking a plaster on top or just taking some other medication. Like, it's just treating it, but it's not actually curing it. So yeah, to me this is proper healing. We've also started our second day of sauna, and it's a very small sauna. However, the pot is massive and it's got so many plants inside it that it just opens you up, and it's very powerful. We have one more day left tomorrow alongside other treatments. But you see why I like this is because I've tried a lot of different diets in the past and detoxes and juice fasts and everything, and as much as they're all really powerful in their own unique way, I really find that the Shipibos have it mastered. You know, they've got really ancient sacred knowledge that just goes back so far, and it's just super powerful in the way that your body responds to it, and it just lines you up to the mind, body and soul. A lot of the time in the world we just treat one thing as physically or emotionally or mental, or sometimes we just purely work on the spiritual side, but obviously it's all about bringing them all into harmony. Again, it's about looking back into nature and seeing how everything is just united. And sometimes we forget this. So to be working with the master plants and to be working with ayahuasca and to be receiving all these fresh herbs from the land, it's just very refreshing. Very refreshing and powerful. So also yesterday was the second ayahuasca ceremony. And the experience was very different to the first time. I was laying there for about an hour or two, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting it, but I didn't really feel anything. I was like, why is this higher connection not being established yet? Because on the first time it was like 10 minutes I was in, I was seeing everything. And I thought, okay, again, don't get attached, let the medicine flow, it clearly needs to build up. And I called along my facilitator and I said, I'm thinking that I'm going to receive another glass because I've been patient enough. And within 20 minutes, brought the glass over to me, and I'm not going to lie, the first time I drank ayahuasca, I actually really enjoyed the taste. And this time, I was actually ready to just puke from the taste. I don't know how it changed so drastically, but apparently that's quite common. So I'm sitting there in thought of, if I have the second glass, I'm just going to vomit. However, I think that was just the medicine saying, I need extra in this ceremony because of what's about to take place. Ah, this kills. So once I took the second glass, I laid down and I was almost puking up. Within 10-20 minutes, I shot forward and that was it. I grabbed my puke bucket and it was just pouring out. And instantly I was like, yes, ayahuasca's in. And it's taken effect. It's taken me exactly where I need to go, which was to even more it was taking me to the exact locations of further trauma and instances where throughout life I've just been the observer and I've analysed people, events, family, siblings, and I've actually sponged a lot of energy, more than I even thought, when I assumed I was just listening. However, I've been quite empathic and I've put that upon myself where I couldn't really help it as a younger kid, and I've just felt everyone's pain. And what ayahuasca was showing me was that I've been storing that in so many different parts around my body, in my organs, in my bones, and I was letting the medicine just show me this. However, ayahuasca is not a plant where you take it and assume that it does all the work for you. So what I discovered was ayahuasca was taking me on a journey. It was presenting a door and handing me the key, and it wanted me to do the work, to navigate through its energy. And I really respected that, because a lot of time in our modern society we just want the shortcuts. We just want the easiest or the fastest way or the strongest way, and life's not really about that, because obviously it's about the journey. So ayahuasca was really presenting itself to me very, very differently, almost like a snake just sliding through nature, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to get the drift. So as I explored each vessel, I was opening up on a cellular level again, just clearing and gutting out all these different events again, all these different people in my life. Some people I had to grieve, some people I had to send love to, some people I just had to let go. And it was showing that even though I thought all these people, most of them I was complete with in crossing paths with them, it was actually saying, no, there's work that hasn't been complete yet. And it took me back to just surrendering. Ayahuasca didn't want to show me too many visions, because at this point she was just saying you need to release all of this energy, a lot of the masculine imprints, and not tapping into my essence for many, many years. So I was just gutting it out with ayahuasca, and honestly for 6-7 hours I was just vibrating. It was very close to what most would describe to a seizure. However, ayahuasca was teaching me that it was just the nervous system that hasn't been able to process my emotions. I haven't been able to complete that cycle. So what I've done is I've locked it into my body, and I've restricted it for so long that I've not allowed it to be in its natural state. So it's buried itself deep within my energy system for years and years and years. And obviously that manifests into many dis-eases. So she was giving me a whole masterclass on trauma, and I thought this is very, very interesting, because this impacts so many people around the world. And from my experience, we're just conditioned to bury and bury and bury all of our unprocessed emotions, or feeling like we're not worthy, or we somehow self-sabotage because we don't want to express or burden anybody else with our sorrows. However, we really need to communicate more, and this is what it was also teaching me, that communication is also the form of healing. And what was really, really powerful in the second ceremony was damn, this stings. What it was really teaching me in the ceremony was, as we learned the Ikaros, the Shipibo Ikaros, I really wanted to sing in ceremony, as it just really allows you to ride the wave of the medicine. It's like there's healing, and then there's understanding the medicine, and then when you bring the sound frequencies in with the ancient medicine, it just takes the ceremony to a whole new level. So when the shaman started to sing, each and every one of us started to join in with this Ikaro, and you could just feel all the love in the room just encased, and we were all just bouncing off each other. And you could just feel this unity, even though we're all like pretty much still strangers to one another. We were all holding space, we were all playing our roles, and it just turned real magical super quick. A lot of us were whacked out. We couldn't even sit up. However, some of us were mumbling, some of us were joining in, and it was just a blessing to really experience. And I'm glad I took part, because before, I'm not a singer. I can't really sing, no way. Never had the confidence to do that anyway. However, there's something different about the Icaros. There's no pattern or maths. There's no rhythm. It's just the intention, and the intention. And the more power and energy you put into that, you can really feel the effects of how it starts to shift not only yourself but everyone else in it. And really work with her energy again, because it's really teaching me about the light, and she's actually been teaching me my own Icaro, which is kind of the level we're aiming for. So for some people that's singing, for others that's humming, but the point of it is to bring that into the ceremonial space, and it flows with the medicine, and it allows us to enter a deeper state. And I've only just received that today, which is the second or third day. So I've got about 3 more glasses I need to finish of that, and about another 5 bottles of other herbal medicines, which will bring me back into balance. And I did an extra day of fasting, because how the Shipibos see fasting is that it translates to the more you fast and the lighter your body is, the less resistance you have for the medicine. And this is a key factor, because a lot of times if you just look around in ceremony in general, you can see people just like tensing up and not relaxing, and what that does is the medicine's trying to come in, but because you're being super resistant on it, it can't flow until you breathe, until you open your posture up, and then it's like boom, it just shoots in. So I felt like I had to remove a lot more resistance so that I could carry on having really deep experiences. And so far it's really blown me away how quick and how much the human body can actually absorb so much trauma and distortion. It's just unbelievable. And you're talking about 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years of holding on to these subconscious parts of ourselves. Me and Talia are walking the path now, for sure. We're learning so much about the plants. And because we've got so much in us, it's like the connection is just going to another level. And to be honest, having food with no salt, oil, sugar, it's actually getting super simple. The body feels like it doesn't need much. We're just conditioned to believe that we need so much flavor, and the whole world is just being bombarded with so much flavor that it's just not necessary. And what that does is it puts so many enzymes into your body, and your gut and your organs can't even digest it. And this is why a lot of people get inflammation. So by cutting back on that and being on a strict dieta, where you're just literally consuming the plants you're actually working spiritually with, it just gives you profound messages and insights and visions and messages from the divine. And it doesn't really get any more simple than that. When you talk to the shamans, they see it very simple, that all of the ancient knowledge has come from the plants. There's only one way to work with the plants, and this is what I 100% agree on, is you need to have a clean dieta. You need to sit with the plants and have a pure intention to learn from them. And then they just give you all the sacred information as time goes on. And that could be 3 days, 11 days, 1 month, even 2 years. Some of these shamans have been on it for 2-3 years, just eating 1 or 2 types of foods, which are the plants they're working with. And with that kind of dedication, you're just really invoking the persistence, and you're pretty much closing down your mind. Because the mind is just trying to tell you all these false narratives that don't even exist. You just need to connect to your heart, have that connection, and you'll be taught exactly everything you need to know. So yeah, as the day's going on, I'm feeling lighter and lighter, minus the treatments and remedies. However, it's all for the highest good, right? This is true healing. So yeah, touch base soon.
So, ceremony number 2 happened last night. Although I decided to take just a little bit less medicine because the first time was like, it's really strong. It was so powerful, the release I had, because my intention was to work with my womb and connect to my divine feminine, but that I didn't realize how much that required space. So releasing so much trauma to the point I when the medicine kicked in, I couldn't take the anxiety that was running through my body. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to ask for help. I'm like the worst person to ask for help. I was happy to help anybody at any time, but when it comes to myself, I'm like, oh, I'm a burden, I'm in the way, I can't ask for help. So I was like, in my head, I was like, I need some help. And Christina came over. I was like, yes, oh my God. She came over at the most perfect time, and she invited me to come outside. And I'm really glad I did, because I got to release everything that's been like keeping me trapped, keeping me in pain, keeping me sick, like to the point where my food allergies, ayahuasca showed me that it's just due to stress and upset and trauma. And so I could feel the medicine working through a cellular level, like the pain that was going through each area. And every time she took me to a place in my body, I said I didn't want to re-experience it, but I wanted to just work with what's coming up. And so I was releasing, I was shaking and crying for so long. I just couldn't believe how much was coming out. But I got through it, and I learned so much about myself, and I can now nurture myself. I can now take a new leaf, turn a new leaf over my life without trying to outreach for others to nurture me. It's given me so much independence I never had, and the anxiety just went. Just so glad. I don't need to feel that anymore, and I understood there's ways to not take things in. Massive release for me last night. And what happens is when you face everything and everything leaves your body, you're creating so much room for all the things that you want to do. And Mama Aya, she showed me varied parts of myself, from judgment and feeling ashamed or afraid to step up because of no worth and thinking that there's other people who are better than me. But she showed me how to use my own medicine. And I'm so glad, because I came back in for like the last part of the ceremony, so the medicine started to come down, and it was a singing share and the expression, just it all came out, and the movement, and I'm just so proud of myself, and I'm really honouring that, because for me to do that would have taken like probably till the last ceremony. So to do it on ceremony 2 was like a huge moment for me. So I'm still processing it because it was so big and explosive. There was a lot of crying and nurturing my inner child, nurturing my womb, feeling her for her true essence. I woke up this morning, went for a walk really early. I didn't really get much sleep, but I just needed to start integrating at least, because there was so much trauma in my body. So much. I got shown things that I didn't know about or was conscious of, the deeper processes, whether it's like sexually or physically, emotionally, with all the people that have played roles in my life. And I'm just so lost for words. I'm grateful for it though, because it showed me my potential in becoming a facilitator, becoming the closest version, the bestest version of myself, more in touch with myself. The whole mother energy just was pouring through. I'm just, I have a disconnection forever in this existence. To be able to finally start to feel it through like the music and medicine was just liberating. And today, so me and Chris got up early. We went down to the medicine hut and we took our plants for our healing ailments. And when everyone was finished, I was still drinking my last drink. I had like a huge list of medicine. It's ridiculous. But I noticed there was like a big butterfly on my shoe. I took a picture and it just stayed there. Everyone walked past. The butterfly didn't move. I was like, okay, this is now nature like connecting with me. And I was like, yes, I'm so happy this is happening. And so I went over to my shoes, put them on. And the butterfly did a lap around me. And then she landed on my knee. And I just started crying because it was I've fucking done the work. And there's always going to be things to do, but I faced it head on. I didn't run from it. I asked for help, I surrendered, and I allowed myself to grieve it out and heal it and see deeper lessons than, say, other medicines that have taught me. And obviously the butterfly symbolises transformation, growth, so many beautiful things, spreading your wings. And that was in my vision last night of Aya. It was a bird. I saw a phoenix, but the phoenix was blue, like it was electric. It was beautiful. And the phoenix was like, this is you. And it kind of swooped and it was soaring into the sky, the sunset. It just put a beautiful end to the ceremony on top of singing and participating and not feeling any shame about anything. Yeah. It's a big one to process. I feel like I might do another video just to see what else comes up, but oh, what a journey. The trauma does not define anybody. The trauma happens for many reasons, but they're our biggest teachers. Trauma is beautiful. People can think I'm not saying it, but when we do the work, we can see the wisdom that is inside of us, in ourselves, from our ancestors, our soul. Like, it's there already. And we will try and do so many external things to get it, or we take from people, but the essence is within. When you clear your shit, you have access to anything. And so that's my big lesson out of this today, this ceremony. And next one is tomorrow, so today is a lot of rest and treatments, connecting with our plants, and just embodying all of those experiences. So
yeah. So yeah, the more it twitches, the more it's discharging. So
I realised like it's actually kind of connected to my hip problem, because that's where, like, when I open my legs and it clicks, it's the same place where the twitching is. I thought, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
I'm gonna.
For me, it has been really life-changing. Yeah. You know, just to do it every day.
Yeah.
We were offered alligator smudging.
I'm gonna try it.
This is where black alligator skin, well known in the Peruvian traditions, This is used to ward off and banish any evil that energetically haunts the individual. This is also used for night terrors, and so we had the opportunity to experience this smudging 2 to 3 times, alongside drinking the medicinal plants to aid night and sleep disturbances.
Right after this? No, not yet. Kristie actually booked for you. For this.
Yeah, I was thinking about making one, but then I was like, gonna drop you off half banana, I guess.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna try for the next smudging day to go through tummies one by one and smudge you with the tummies.
Yeah.
And so you sleep counting. That's the fun talking about.
Driving in the car with my friends, family member, and anyways, we were driving down the road, and out of nowhere, you know the blue heron is? A blue heron, these huge birds, like the huge wings down, really long legs. They're supposed to be the messengers of God. Anyways, it flew into our windshield and killed itself.
Is it going up my face?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you were driving.
Don't sit on it, you're so close.
What do you think that means? Weird, right? Yeah. Never happened to me before in my life, anything like that.
So, we just did our alligator skin smudge. It's black alligator, which is amazing for people who have like insomnia or night terrors, who kind of tormented by spirits, which has obviously been on my radar with nightmares. I have the same nightmares literally since I was a baby, as long as I can remember. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how well I sleep tonight, and having my energy cleansed inside out. Having my energy cleansed, feeling really like rejuvenated, and I can really feel the smoke just kind of wrapping itself around my energy field. And so I'm being sent to bed at 7:10. I'm really tired. I mean, ceremony was big last night, and so I got up really early, and I've had a long day of saunas and lots of plant medicine. I had my treatment done on my lower back today. So since I was very small, my tailbone, every time I've kind of stretched out, it clicks. So the medicine meant, this is a little bit revealing, but it's possible to see, but there's like a little patch. It's like a paste of medicine, and they put like a plaster with it. It dries out and you leave it until it naturally falls off, and the medicine seeps into the bones or whatever ailments you're having, and let's see what happens. So I'm really looking forward to that. So now it's time for me to go to bed. I did sleep a couple of hours before dinner tonight, but I'm still exhausted. So good night.
At this point, we began many of our treatments, such as the chili and ginger, to treat organs and body pains. We both experienced body wraps and paste forms.
Yeah.
We were able to have massages to help these pains and ailments. The medicine hut is the space where we come every morning to have all of our drinks. We both had a crazy amount of medicine and were mostly filled up with liquids.
Ooh.
No? No pain?
No.
Oh.
Yay.
But we could not resist the amazing food prepared 2 to 3 times a day by the wonderful ladies during the dieta. As you can see, the team are up early brewing and collecting medicine to provide to all 17 of us on the retreat. We truly respect and honour their time and efforts every single day. The medicine hut is also the space where we will show you the plant baths prepared by Don Miguel and the team, but also the saunas. When we enter the dieta, it begins 1 month to 2 weeks before the retreat, and it is continued several weeks after. This allows the plants to work their magic on a cellular and spiritual level.
So, how are you feeling 5 days in?
Everything's broken down, as you can hear. But it's healing. Everything's healing. And I wasn't expecting it to be this deep and thorough, but yeah, just even there, my abdominal pain is gone. Obviously the plant's still working with my throat. But everything seems to be getting better for sure. How about you?
Yeah, I feel the same. So I did have treatment yesterday on my tailbone. I woke up this morning, my hips haven't clicked. I normally, like, when I turn over, I turn to the side, I go on each side. But I remember I had a flashback yesterday that my tailbone pain started when I was really small.
Yeah.
And obviously, after so many years of just constantly like laying down, stretching and clicking that, it's then manifested through the rest of my hips. So I'm really happy with how everything's going so far. Probably the happiest I've ever felt. All my inflammation, well not all, but a lot of my inflammation is going down. You know, I've had a lot of realizations about the nervous system and the body, and I've been watching my body change every single day, even though it's 5 days, but the growth is huge. It's hard to chug a lot of medicine. I've got like 4, 6, 8, 9 medicines to take on top of treatment. But the way I'm feeling, I've never felt this healthy and happy. Even my skin, my complexion.
And you're not even sunbathing.
I know.
We're just walking from like one
Tambo
location
to
to Tambo to Mallorca.
And the food, everything is just like nourishing. Like I'm not bloated. I just feel alive. Like it's made me realise how little we need to eat. We don't need to have so many things on our plate, so many flavours. Like you can get enough out of a few things. What else is there? A big part of this trip for me is trauma in my womb. And I feel like a lot has been released. I'm still thinking there's going to be more tonight. And Noyarao gave me some insights this morning when I worked with her on the master plan. So we'll see. But yeah, this retreat has taken me back. Like I knew it was going to be good, but this is like out of this world. What you get is
Beyond.
Oh my goodness. It's not just about the plant medicine, the ayahuasca. It's about aligning your mind, body and soul and bringing you back to your heart. And when your heart is able to expand, there's just this beautiful alignment with your body, and you're not feeling the body pains, you're not feeling anxious, you're just in this like creative, blissful flow.
And what's great as well is all the Shipibos, they live off this land, which is Don Miguel's land. We'll show you their huts on video. However, they're just a really tight community, and one would focus on bones, one would focus on the sauna, one would focus on the herbal medicine, one's a herbalist, and they all teach each other the same thing, which makes it super powerful because they can come at you from all different angles. And as well as we believe, they believe that there's a plant for everything. Whatever you need, they'll go and find the plant, because they've grown most of the important ones on the land here, and the other ones that are a bit more wild, you can go on the jungle walk and they pretty much pick it, dry it or cook it, and they put it into a nice concoction like this for us. And honestly, there's nothing, not one of, we've got 16 people in our group, and there's not one thing that they haven't been able to find for all of their health problems. And we're talking about health problems, some from like 40, 50 years ago. And they're just very confident with it. Like, they know they can heal it because the plant spirits have taught them what they need to know. And they haven't lost that throughout the years because of how simple they live. So it's amazing, and the energy of the land is just so powerful. It's almost like you're in a walk-in meditation every second without needing to meditate. You're just that connected.
For us as well.
Generator's on.
Yeah. You know, we always connect to spirit around us. But since we've done ayahuasca, it's like there's a constant connection. Not with just the plants, but it's with the animals, with this, everything. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, it's enhanced so much. You're constantly receiving like healing and guidance and visions and
little downloads throughout the day.
Yes, constantly. I've even found it during the night as well. Yeah. Obviously, I've been working with Nayarao. She's been giving me, like, even if it's just a snippet, and it's like it's building up to like a story. Or yeah, the dreams she'll show me is a glimpse of something. It's like a flash. Then I'm like writing it down, and then my automatic writing comes through, and I'm like expanding it. Like, whoa, fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's really, really cool. So I do think now they're about to prepare all of our medicines.
We've given back our empty bottles, so we're going to film it and show you how they're just topping them up and distributing them back out.
Okay.
Copiba.
Do you know what it's for?
No.
No?
Tomas un poco agua.
Okay.
Down it.
Okay. This one's quite nice. That was a dragon's blood.
Dragon's blood, you got it dripping from your chin.
and it can record a full hola.
Hello.
Good morning.
There's like no way.
Wow, it's like a twisty tree. It's so cool.
Oh, that's so neat.
Navigating the jungle's labyrinth, we marvelled at the diverse foliage and towering trees, feeling the ancient pulse of the wilderness. Our journey led us to the hollowed banks of the Amazon River. Where we surrendered to the current, immersed in the primal embrace of nature. We absorbed the essence of the jungle, tapping into the interconnected web of life. In this moment of communion, we acknowledge the unseen forces that governed existence, humbly participating in the dance of creation. With the jungle as our silent guide, and the river as our reflective mirror, we dive into contemplation. In the subtle sounds of nature, we discover the ancient whispers, guiding us to set intentions in harmony with the jungle's rhythm. Oh.
Brownie! What are you doing here?
As we prepared to depart, we carried the essence of the rainforest within us, a subtle imprint on our intentions for the upcoming ceremony. The jungle, a silent witness to our reflections, continued its timeless dance, and we moved forward with a newfound connection to the spirit of the wild. A joyous moment watching Don Miguel's family intertwining with play and relaxation, reminding us in the external world that community, love and connection must remain. What are we without community? What becomes of us during disconnection? We are beings of emotions, expression and dance. This moment of love allowed us to contemplate our future together and what we wish to bring back from the jungle. Love, connection and unity. It is all that matters.
No es muy fuerte, solamente necesita tomar agua.
So it's not strong, it isn't vomitivo, so we just need to drink with water.
Day 7 was quite the experience. Here we are embarking on the journey of a vomitivo, where a green smoothie type of juice is created to help clear out the system, a form of purification. For both of us, it was very hard to vomit because we had been detoxing our bodies for years beforehand. We embodied a plant-based diet for several years, performed liver detox, juice cleanses and colonics to reset our entire body. And we found that very little purging was experienced. While Chris embarked on the journey with the green juice, Athena had experienced the dragon's blood resin, the vomitivo, which was definitely uncomfortable and intense, but still was only able to release little amounts, which we suppose in some way is good. When you are experiencing a vomitivo, you have to ensure you're drinking plenty of fluids. So we did this vomitivo the day after our ceremony, so we had to drink litres and litres of water for the medicine to truly work its magic in the gut. When you're in that moment of vomiting, it isn't a nice experience, but after, it's actually such a relief. Your body just feels refreshed, empty, and like it's almost like someone just put reset. So in some way we actually really appreciate the vomitivos because it allowed our body to reset. This is the Shipibo market, where the ladies come to share their work of art that they have handmade through clothes, tapestries, bags and jewellery. We couldn't help ourselves, and in fact we purchased some ceremonial tapestries and altarpieces for our van and ceremony time together. We have always been about ethical stances, and so it was such a beautiful moment for us to purchase these gifts through the indigenous community. The artwork that is created on the clothing, tapestries and bags have been channeled through the visions of ayahuasca, experiences that these ladies have encountered. Some of these pieces have taken several months to create and weave, and we found it so difficult to choose as you could feel all the hard work and beautiful energy put into these sacred items.
We have been introduced to the bathing of plants. This is the most revitalizing and connected experience we have embarked on. The plant baths are worked with various healing plants of the jungle, and we are shown exactly how to perform a bath, instructed by Don Miguel. During this time, we are able to manifest our hopes and dreams. This is also known as a love bath. This showers us with positive frequencies and love. Once we leave the jungle, the plant spirits will continue working with us. After our plant baths, we come to the Maloka to relax, play some music, and spend some time preparing for our final 2 ceremonies. We would love to share this little story on Mercy. This little pup came to us the morning after ceremony 1. She sneaked in with kisses, cuddles, and shared her love with all of us in the room, and stayed with us until the morning of the last ceremony. She then disappeared and never came back, but she was a messenger of light and protection. We could all feel this experience, and it was certainly a sign for many reasons.
Save the world with my guitar. Save the world with my guitar. We don't need no Superman to come and save the world. I'll save the world.
Nice. We will be doing the last 2 ceremonies back to back. As we will be closing the dieta, we will be reintroduced to certain foods and spices before we leave the retreat center. Feeling a little nervous about going in ceremony back to back, but we are here, trusting the process that we will always be given what we need, not what we want. We have truly felt the push of what we limit our minds to be.
Se refiere de un pequeño animal más grande que lagartija, ¿no? De iguana. Aceite de iguana es muy bueno para fractura, para varices, ¿no? Siempre. Y es un pequeño lagartija, pero muy fuerte.
So this is a...
De aquí por allá, de aquí por allá.
Para que se mueva de aquí para allá, de aquí para allá.
Ay, 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 ay.
Ay, 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 ay.
Cadera ya no da más.
Cadera ya no da más.
Aceite de iguana lo voy a echar.
Aceite de iguana lo voy a echar.
Para que se mueva de aquí por allá, de aquí por allá.
Para que se mueva de aquí para allá, de aquí para allá.
Primero vamos a pronunciar, ¿ya? De todos. El tema es... Yo voy a pronunciar primero y ustedes van a repetir.
So I'm going to pronounce and you repeat.
Mira canoque. Kiri canota. Cano. Kiri canota. No habrá un médico. Mete cano rioso. Mete cano rioso. Amo abano.
shaman king, yora paria, hatom nete shamani, hatom nete shamani, nokong sama kanopo, tori ewa hoyoya, tori ewa hoyoya, Hashamani, Niska Shamani, Niska Shamani, Liki Shamani, Liki Shamani, Hagonira Kanoke, Hagonira Kanoke. Sama kanopo, nokong kanokeweni, nokong kanokeweni. Hagonira kanoke, hagonira kanoke, nokong sama kanopo, nokong kanokeweni. Ayahuma sunarai, sunarayamti. Ayahuma sunarai, sunarayamti. Ayahuma sunarai, sunarayamti. Ayahuma sunarai, sunarayamti.
The thing that I was the most closed off to, or didn't want to have a ceremony based on that category. Didn't really know why, but now I do. So it started really intense. It was very cosmic. Everything was just frequencies. All the plant spirits were in the room. I could see all like my guides and even more behind them. And I instantly started purging. I was like, okay, this way around, what's going on? And just releasing things. It was just flashing. I couldn't really understand too much what was going on, but then it stopped. And I was faced with this scenario, and I was like, well, what's going on here? Why is this showing? This doesn't really fit in. So just to make sense of it, me and Talia, 2018? 17, yeah. We got together, and within like a few weeks, we were just, there was this like inner spark just to like continue our spiritual journey that we kind of left off as kids. And it was nice to walk that together, and we instantly started meditating, journeying late at night. And one night it was about 3 a.m. and we were still going strong, seeing all these visions, and Talia said, I really want to be in service. And I was like, 100%. I don't know how to yet, but until we do, why don't we, Talia was going to do like tarot cards and readings for people just to give some wisdom. And I said, while we like learn our ways, why don't we do some crystals on the side and some like spiritual holistic products? And then that was it. It was created within like 2 weeks after that. And things were just looking up. It was, the soul just started to become very nurtured together. We were just growing. And I went round to my sister's house, and she was quite surprised that we had this big project going on, and we were really like hyped about it, and no one believed in us. They were all like, oh, witches. Or the weirdo. And she literally made an offer to me and Tyler to say, can I come into your business? Because it was just about to get started. We didn't have no wholesalers, no training, practitioner training, nothing like that at all at this point. And me and Tyler kind of looked at each other at the time, not realizing we were just like yes people. We both just like nodded, like out of fear of upsetting her, not realizing that this was meant to be our journey. Fast forward a year now, we start exploring more with customers, clients, and we're really like feeling this service for people. As much as we had crystals out, it was just a tool to be used for people to come to us and release their worries and fears that they can't talk to with their closest family or friends. And at this point we thought everything's going good, but fast forward a year, my guides had a convo with me, Talia's guides had a convo with her. We went for a walk one night and we both had the same download that something's not adding up in the business, that Talia was tracking some money that wasn't ever there each month. It just wasn't hitting. Kept saying to my sister, where is it? She said, oh, we're in debt. We're still paying that off. We're backlogged by 2 weeks. And we believed her. Anyway, we found out when it came to lockdown that the energy just wasn't resonating anymore. It was almost like me and Talia, we would begin in the shamanic path and we wanted her to do the course with us, and she was like no, because she was going through, she wanted a child. And this is what ayahuasca was all showing me. She showed me like the whole timeline of it, and I was like, why am I going into this now? I know all this. And it got to the point where we had to get it checked out with a lockdown. 500,000 was missing, and we then got it checked from lawyers, solicitors, accountants, forensics, just so that I could prove that she didn't do it. Because I was like, that's my own sister, like, why would she do that? And I held a lot of guilt because at the time I was a victim. I was like, oh, it's her, she's dark, she's evil. But then I got to really feel that I dropped my guard. I was just the yes man. And I wasn't checking up on her, and she did it. She did what she needed to do. And me and Talia were left with all of the debt that was accumulated. There was no actual debt. Again, the betrayal. I was like, we've only done nothing but help you, and this is like what we get back. And it's quite disgusting to say, but I literally wanted to kill her for such a long time. And as time went on, me and Talia just had to learn how to do accounts, how to do the marketing, how to do everything, continue and just rebuild this whole business. But at the same time, it was like it fragmented something in us. And because of the whole legal case, it was just splitting our time with each other. The business, the family was just divided, split completely. And the house just started to have a lot of shitty energy build up. Everyone was asking us questions and it was overloading us. We were like so overloaded. I can't even explain in words, but we got through it and we rebranded, we got strong, and a year later we did a ceremony in the forest just to release this energy and to come from this higher perspective that needed to happen, because it brought out something in me where she triggered me so hard that it taught me boundaries, respect, to not give up, and all these key like traits that I needed just unlocking inside. It was there, but it was like I just wasn't tapping into it. And as I could see that it was just for our path and our journey, Talia was just shining her light on it. We gave her the benefit of the doubt just to come clean. We said, don't worry about the money, we just want a closure as to why. And after 3 hours of talking to her in the park and endless denial, she basically said, I'll take it to my grave. And she just had kids at this point. And they didn't even know my name. Ayahuasca went in and it was bringing all this up. And I was like, okay, teach me. What do I need to do? And it was very clear. It was, stop being so resentful, stop being so closed. I had the awareness that I would say hi and bye to her. She could come back into the family home. I just won't get as close. But ayahuasca showed me that that was just another form of protection. A nice little, you're vulnerable. She broke you. But ayahuasca showed me that there's much more work to do. And I was like, oh God, how? And as soon as, well, not as soon as I go back, but when I go back and everything's integrated, she showed that I need to sit with my parents in the house that all this happened under and explain what has happened from our eyes, explain what's happened here. And to call her around and to speak to her soul and to just hold her in ceremony and help her release all of this guilt and trauma that she's carrying from it. And it will provide me with the strength, the humility and the light that ayahuasca will show me. This is how you will work going forward. She's the one that will transform you, and if you can help her, then you can help anyone. And I was like, I get it. Okay. So I promised ayahuasca I'll do exactly what I was shown, which is very uncomfortable, but that's what my soul needs and that's what her soul needs, because it was obviously contracted and there's no more victim. It's for our consciousness just to evolve and keep ascending. And she's blessed me with this journey, and now it's my time to bless her. And that starts with helping her release and just giving her the key, showing that I'm there, holding her in that love so that she can just crack down all these layers. And in the hope that she would just get what she needs out of it. From my end, there's no attachment, there's no expectation. I'm not going to be disappointed or happy with whatever outcome. I just know that if that's what I'm shown, then that's what I need to do. And then ayahuasca was just showing me that this is more of the man who I need to become, no matter what. Always seek the best. I can only lead from the front and shine the light on those in need. And yeah, it was very moving and powerful, and to show my parents that this is me and to accept it, or that's okay. So there's a lot of work to do, but yeah, I'm ready. I hope.
I'm going to start by saying, like, I really struggled last night. It was more about me experiencing myself, and all I do is loop over and over again. Like, it started to make me feel so frustrated, and then by the end of the ceremony I couldn't get out of it. Even this morning in my tambo, I couldn't get out of it. And I realised it was showing me that I've been doing that since I was a baby. I've just been like suffering inside, taking everyone's shit in. Conditioning was like concrete inside me. Like, I couldn't even get a chisel and try and break it down. And the conditioning there as well is to not ask for help, because there's shame, guilt, there's a burden, there's a heavy burden on me. And the first time last night I really got to experience anger towards my mum.
she's put so much on me because she can't deal with it. It's like she's just got her bag of shit and just kind of lobbed it at me, thinking that I'll be the saviour of her and the family. But if I've not even had that space to do anything for myself, I'm just becoming another part, like another version of her. And that was really hard to accept last night. I guess, you know, I haven't got much wisdom to say at this point because I'm working through things and I'm still in that place still. And thank you to Christina for being there for me last night. And I just needed to be heard. Like, every time I try and talk to my family, they just kind of brush it away, or they're just so disconnected from me and my emotions that I've never felt wanted, I've never felt loved. But they expect so much from me, it's ridiculous. But like, I realised when I was walking outside the whole night, everything scares me. I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of myself. The tiniest things make me jump. Like, it was just seeing how my body was working. I was like, how have I lived this long carrying all this shit? And like feeling like no one in my family cares is hard. And my mum keeping my dad's side away and making them seem like they're sick. So I just felt like I've had no one. And my brothers, they're both disabled, so like I couldn't even turn to them. It was like I had to suck all my stuff up as a kid and just be a sister. You're not even a sister, it's a carer. I've been a carer my whole life. And I have so much guilt to just live my life and do things for myself. I just can't find that comfort within me to like go away and do my stuff, what I want to do. Like the way I felt last night. It's like I just wanted to black out and collapse. There's too much trauma in my body. I just can't process. I'm so finding it hard to process. I mean, as the day's gone on, little bits have come through to help me kind of cope and understand the conditioning that I've been heavily placed into. But it's just put me into shock. How much I've taken in, and things that seem so insignificant are huge for me. It's like being an ant in the world. It's massive. So I know this is going to take time, and I'm always fast-paced ahead, but I'm just taking it one moment at a time right now just to find some comfort and grounding. Like last night, I just couldn't ground. I couldn't like regulate myself. I just had no like skill to bring myself back home. And I've done so much training, like, over the years. It's just, it doesn't matter if you've actually not worked on your trauma. It doesn't matter what you've learned. You need to actually sit with it. And I realised, like, I can't do this alone at the moment because I've never had that support. And I was battling with just that alone. And last night was about accepting the help and accepting that there are people that care about me. But there was just so much guilt. It was like looping. And it got to the point where my power animal was a bat. I got hit in the face by a bat last night. It whacked me straight on my forehead. It was like, stop, get out of this loop. And I'm like, yes, I know I need to get out of it, but I've opened myself up now to receive that help. And so I'm just taking it now every day as it comes and being open to help. And we'll just see what happens from there. I'm not going to allow myself to go anywhere. I'm just going to try and be as present as I can. I'm not going to try and be negative. I'm not going to try and be too positive, because I find that when I leech onto something, I get my hopes up, or I get my hopes so far down, I can't get myself out of it, that I just need to be in this middle place. So I'm just going to run with that for now and surrender to it. Aho.
Here we are experiencing the last ceremony, where the space is free to sing, play songs, and howl to the moon. This is something Don Miguel loves to do at the end of ceremonies.
As we prepared to leave, Don Miguel kindly prepared some sacred plant baths for us to experience with each other, so we can open our hearts, connect to the plants, and bathe our manifestations and desires with the spirit world. Plant baths are also called love baths, from the vibrations of the plants, infusing your entire light being with all these beautiful vibrations, wisdoms, and the spirits to come with you once you leave the jungle. So this is our final sharing circle from ceremony 5.
My intention was to work on anger. I was actually feeling anger earlier in the day. When we reached out to family, it just triggered me so much. I just was really rejecting it. I didn't want to hear from them. I didn't want the energy to come in. It was interesting because Chris turned his phone on to reach out, because they had reached out, or Chris's mum, and normally my mum would reach out, and she always would message Chris if she can't get hold of me, and not seeing her kind of pop up put a lot into perspective for me. I was like, it's fine. But I realised when Chris reached out to her to let her know I was okay, she was more paranoid about what I was going through rather than just sort of, how's it going? It just made me realise a lot. Even though I had the anger, I was still able to process, the truth, really. Not needing to sugarcoat it anymore. So all of that was kind of in me for the rest of the day. And that gave me my intention for ceremonies, to work on that, because ayahuasca showed me that is under all of that sadness and pain is anger. And so she was helping me work through it, and she was like, you need to get this out, And so I went outside, I put myself on the earth, and ayahuasca showed herself as a snake, and she was wrapping herself around my womb. And it was getting tighter and tighter, and I genuinely felt like I was having period pains. And she was like, I'm not going to let go until you release this anger, because it's all here, it's all stored here. This is why you've got pain in your hips. This is why it's going up your spine, and you're now having problems in your neck. And it's affecting my voice, it's consuming my body. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And there was so much resistance to let anger out. There was so much shame to be angry. There was so much judgment. I was like, shit, what if I'm too loud? What if I'm seen differently for being angry? And I was just trying to give myself that space to say it's okay. And so Christina came with me to the medicine hut. And I felt like I needed to kind of talk through the emotions to bring it up. And then I did it twice. But each time I was really kind of it was like a picture book of all the anger I've ever felt from a child. And as I was kind of screaming it out, I could hear myself, my inner child, and this dark female voice. And as it all come out, at the end I started getting phlegm and mucus, and she was telling me all that mucus I've had, the problems with my nose, is all related to just swallowing everything down. So I literally was like giggling after. I felt like a child. I got it all out. I was like, oh. It was really amazing. And I said to myself that if it's not every day, whenever I'm feeling something, I'm just going to go in our van and just go in the room and just use the pillow to get it out. I'm not going to keep anything inside anymore. I have no more room for that because I just want to bring in all of that beautiful energy. And so when that all happened, I came back in. My throat was killing, so it was really hard to sing last night. But so far this journey, every ceremony has brought me something, and I'm really grateful. And I wanted to say thank you for last night because I could feel all of you supporting when the energy got stuck. Miguel as well has helped me break down like the cement in my chest, and I feel like this has really opened up a lot for me to just keep on healing. Like I genuinely want to come back and do more. Like it's really driven me to do the work deeper, and so I'm really looking forward to the future.
I felt like after the 4th ceremony, it was beginning to feel like, okay, I got this. I've got a grip with how the medicine wants to work. And that just allowed me to just sink deeper and surrender. And just really tuned into how I was feeling. And again, I just released all expectations, and I actually just went in with an open intention to just be shown what it is I need to see and to release what it is I need to release. And I left the medicine to do the work. And again, I feel like Ayahuasca works with me in a very particular way now, where she opens me up. She gets me to this heart-centered space, and then she just allows my nervous system just to release, and areas of my body just to shake it out. And I was purging. And once all that was out, it started to shift, and the medicine showed me since I was 16, I was always searching for the truth. I was always searching for occult practices, hidden sacred knowledge, secret societies, you name it. I was always really obsessed with it. And I just was fascinated by but how and but why, and why do these forces exist, and why do these energies dictate the earth plane. And it kind of showed me that throughout the years I've allowed a lot of the darkness to consume me out of curiosity, and it started to become very toxic to the point where it's this split in my mind of, I know I'm meant to be working with the pure frequency from source, but this and this from the dark side just doesn't make sense. I was trying to understand like the universal law with it, and Ayahuasca actually took me to the creator. It took me to the infinite web of the plant kingdom, of the earth, how everything operates on a cellular level, and how that all exists within us, and it runs through our veins, it's in our DNA strands, and how to harness that. And at this point I was just being held in like this blanket of the universe, and I could just travel to all these different aspects of everything that exists. And I was just taken back, like, I get it. I don't need to search for all that hidden knowledge anymore, because it's already within us. Each and every one of us is already harnessing it. It's just now we're beginning to navigate through that energy. And it brought this freedom and excitement that we're our own teacher. Along the way, we're going to have teachers who assist us and allows us to work and anchor all that energy in. But I didn't need to seek anymore, because the medicine just showed me. and then it was just tuning me in to just becoming more of an observer, becoming each and every one of us is either a beacon of light, a messenger, an earth worker, whatever you like to call it. We all have our little roles, and the way they would like me to work is just by tuning into people, seeing almost where they're stuck and they just need a little hand to push them forward and to keep guiding them towards the light, and in the hope of inspiration and for them to find liberation, really. So showing me the younger generation, how they're just so connected, but people put all these labels on top of them and they try to medicate them, which actually disconnects them from the source. And they need people like us to just see that and plant our seed and encourage them and allow them to do the work without any attachment. And just trust that they're on their journey, but each and every one of them needs someone like us along the way, just to plug them in back to the source, back to the creator. And that would stop their mind from swaying the way my younger self was beginning to sway. And I was just like, yeah, I get it. I know what I need to do. This resonates. I can do this. And yeah, I was having amazing connections to the stars when I was looking outside, and they were just twinkling back at me, changing colours, journeying to it and back and forth. And it just felt like, yeah, I was finally part of this oneness. And everything just was aligning and grounding. And I feel like this is, yeah, the new path has just opened up, and it's almost like the next part of the quest has begun, and it's full of all these mysteries, but again, I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be. And thank you all again for, yeah, holding that space and bringing all that special energy in. I felt every second of it from every single one of you. I hope.
So last night I decided not to take any medicine because I really wasn't feeling great. My stomach was really hurting, and literally like straight away I could see the loop that my head went into. Because I was like, I really want to do the work, but my body was like, please listen to me, don't ignore me. I really need you to just take it easy. We've been through a lot. Like, you're kind of underestimating yourself, how much we've released. So it just made me see again last night, like, my negative programs. And I actually had to sit with it in silence, stillness, darkness. So it actually gave me a good opportunity to sit with myself and not always fidgeting and getting distracted. And it was interesting because I needed to go to the toilet. I was in the bathroom, I was sitting on the toilet, and I was looping all this stuff again, and the bat came in the bathroom, circling around my head. I was like, oh, the bat's reminding me again, stop getting yourself in a loop. It's not needed anymore. You've processed so much. Be nice to yourself. And it was I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I have no worth. Like, it was just taking me through, because I asked for my blueprint. I said, what am I here to do? Where is my work? And she's saying, look, you can't do this stuff if you don't find any worth within yourself. It's just not going to align, because you need to hold that light within so you can bring it out in others. So I spent a long time last night just kind of like trying to release all this. And when Don Miguel came round, I really felt like the Icaros was able to let me see the light within my body. And it was actually really nice to observe that without the medicine, because I've never observed that in whether I'm on medicine or not. So I was really grateful for what it was kind of like he was reprogramming those I can'ts and I'm not good enough into the worthy and the creative side that I literally came here for, was to bring that out of me.
I do feel like after these 5 ceremonies, my fear towards medicine is gone. It's made me understand so much of what I was afraid of, which was myself. And although physically I feel very tired, my soul is like, I can't wait to like grow. And all the stuff that I was shown last night about traveling and doing all the things that I've wanted to do but never found that like drive. I'm ready to take that on. I do feel like ayahuasca's thrown me in a way, even though I've been on this path for like 6 years, this really feels like it's the beginning. Like she's kind of really taken me under my feet with that, and there's a lot to work with, and I was like a bit ashamed of that, but at the same time this is like a new layer of growth now that I can work with. And so literally everything that was trying to come up last night, it was allowing me to just try and see it in a different light and not to be so heavy and negative on myself. Trust came up again last night for me as well. So when I started him, I had no trust for myself. And after just having that stillness last night, I realised that I can, and I do. And that now opening that up, ayahuasca and Noyorao, they showed me about going back into my music and writing again, because I used to do it when I was like 15 and then I just stopped because of all the projections. So I'm going to spend a lot of time working on that and finding my instruments. And definitely to be doing it with medicine more. So because that fear's gone, it's now opened up such a beautiful big path, which I'm really excited about. I got shown a lot of dance as well, which I used to do too. It's almost like I never thought I knew who I was, but whenever I used to dance or I used to sing or be in the studio, that was really me, like being in that creative flow. And so she's saying you need to bring that into your work. It's medicine. It was very tribal and ancient, and I look forward to exploring that. Yeah, I could feel you all last night, and it was nice because the last ceremonies I've been so in myself. I needed that time, but last night it was actually like really filling my heart with love, that whether you guys are going through light or darkness, it was just seeing all the energy like shifting in the room was really beautiful to observe. Yeah, I'm just grateful for all of you. I really am. I don't feel like I've said it enough, but inside of me, I'm like constantly like trying to put that frequency out. So thank you for all being you, and everything all of you have said has resonated with me so much. It's allowed me to like expand my awareness in different ways, and I really hope we will get to keep in touch and cross paths again one day. And I think that's me done. Aho.
I still feel very heavy under the medicine. I feel like it's just pulling me back to the floor. I haven't been able to shake it yet, but yesterday I thought it was actually going to be a very, very light ceremony, but it was the opposite. And when Miguel was singing to me, it was like my body was just struggling just to sit up. I was just fading backwards. And then my body just lost touch of sense, and I was like, why is it raining in here? And then I realised he was just spitting agua over me. And I was like, I'm so far gone. So I had to lay down once he finished, and it was like a rhino just ran me over and stumbled on my chest, and I was just like a thin, crispy bit of bread. And I was like, what is going on? And then the purge began, and I could just feel everything again that wasn't serving my highest timeline was just eliminating out of my body in so many different ways all at once. And I said, okay, this is what I need. I'm just going to surrender to it. And it just wouldn't stop. To the point I was like trying to connect, trying to tap into the energy, but it was almost like it wouldn't let me see everything. It was just wanting to eliminate all the toxins and all the distorted energy back out of my system. So I was like, okay. And then once all that finished, it was like my light body started to have an activation, and I could feel that it was like my heart was just chewed out, spat out, and then it felt like a new one was put back in. Or perhaps that's just all the room that's being created now. It just feels like it isn't mine, it's just pure again. Either way, it's a good thing. And yeah, it wasn't very tangible or very easy to process. I'm still heavily in a process right now. But I know that the last 5 ceremonies have transformed me. They have completely ripped things out that I've been battling with my whole life. And it's actually been better than I thought. And I had high expectations of the medicine. So I feel, as much as I just feel mashed up, I do feel grateful for every single one of the ceremonies, even when the purge has been hard, because it's what I needed. And so far that's where I'm at until I process the rest. So thank you all. I hope. I offer this with love.
I receive this with love. I offer this with love.
Our
last day before we exit the jungle, we have broken our dieta gently, finishing the retreat with a cacao ceremony and some connection through the sound of music. It is super heartbreaking knowing this journey has come to an end, and just like everything, it all becomes a part of the imprinted memories stored in our hearts.
And I'm going to share with you guys the cacao prayer that I channeled yesterday. And as I finish channeling, I invite you all to put just an intention in one word, whatever words that you want to take with this love, with this cup of cacao. May we come into this ceremony with open hearts and humble spirits to honor the healing power of this sacred medicine and this sacred journey. We offer our gratitude to the cacao spirit for its guidance and wisdom. Breathe in and out. May this ceremony be a vessel for transformation, love, connection. We invoke the energy of love and compassion, asking that infuses every zip of cacao. Take a deep breath in and out. May it open our hearts, release what no longer serves us, and bring in
Chuya Chaki Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chuya Chaki Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Chuya Chaki Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chuya Chaki Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chuya Chaki Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chuya Chaki Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Chakranita Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Toyosito Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Pinocito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Pinocito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Pinocito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Pinocito Sunarai, Sunarayoti. Pinocito Sunarai, Sunarayoti, Pinocito Sunarai, Sunarayoti.
Hi guys, it's our last day, so we're just going for a morning walk to Noyarao.
Going to give our blessings and gratitude for all the amazing work she's given us. She's been our master plant these whole 2 weeks. She's given us so much insight. She is incredible. So I've got something to gift her. And we're just saying our goodbyes to the land, and we will be back.
Ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
We have so much to take home and integrate into our lives, ourselves, and we received more than what we had expected. We had high expectations, but this exceeded by far.
Thank you very much. Let's take a picture.
What's your message to the world about ayahuasca?
You know, the medicine's real. It's for everyone somehow. That doesn't mean that it's for everyone the way that we experience it. But we need to start integrating this space back into our daily lives so that we can help the earth heal. And the energy and the spirit of ayahuasca is available and wants to help us.
And the experience at Ayahealing retreats with Don Miguel.
Oh, Don Miguel's great. Don Miguel's got compassion, and Don Miguel appreciates that his job is powerful, and he's soft, and he appreciates hard work, and I can't wait to get to know him more.
And if there's one thing you could say to anybody watching right now, from your heart, what would you say?
We love you. Do your work. Be yourself. Find yourself. You came here with all the tools to yourself inside, and they got locked out, but it's not your fault. So take a breath. Know that you're valued, and be loved.
So the most profound experience for me since coming here was actually feeling the spirit and the energy of the plants, and really understanding how they communicate with us. You know, it's always been something that I've felt. I've always believed in it. I've always really been able to hold space for people that tell me about it and communicate these things to me, but I never was able to really feel it myself on a conscious level. And so in coming here, I was able to take that feeling from a subconscious level to actually consciously feeling the plants communicate with me and feeling nature communicate with me. And that was the most beautiful thing. It made me believe in nature. It made me believe in magic. It made me believe that us humans are here to take care of the world, and that humans are not bad. We are good.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what has been your most challenging experience?
The most challenging experience for me has been coming to terms with the way that we're raised, the way that I was raised, and of no fault of anyone, just the way that we're brought up in our society to become detached from that and lose those gifts of being able to communicate with nature and being able to communicate with the plants and animals. And the most challenging for me was just purging all of that out, getting rid of that, and bringing in the light, just working through all of that conditioning and undoing it. It was really hard, but
absolutely
really worth it.
Awesome. And if there was one thing you could say to the world or share a message, what would it be?
Spend more time outside and listen and take it in. Just listen, because the plants, the birds, the animals, they're all trying to communicate with you. They're all trying to send you a message. They want your help. They need your help. And yeah, you are loved and you're enough.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you. That was lovely.
How is your perception of ayahuasca?
Before or now?
Now. Well, you could bring in a bit of both.
I guess before, I felt like it was going to be this medicine that would really heal me, and I came here to heal some things that were going on in my body. And leaving, I see how it's so much more than that. Like, it didn't just heal my body, it's healing my soul, and it's connecting me to the earth in a way that I've never been connected before since maybe I was a small child.
Oh, that's amazing. And what would you say about being held by Don Miguel, like Ayahealing retreats? What's your outlook on the whole retreat?
This place is probably one of the most amazing places I've ever been. Yeah, Don Miguel, his heart is so pure and you can feel it in everything that he does. And this place, I can feel the harmony in it. It's like as it should be. It doesn't feel like it's wanting to be anything other than it is. And that's so unusual and so healing to be part of.
Definitely. And if you have one message to give to the world for any viewers who are watching this video, what would you say?
I would say that healing is possible, and the world that you know in your heart that you've believed in since you were a child, a world where we can talk to the plants and animals and we don't have to be in incredible pain as we get older, and we don't have to feel anxious and depressed all the time. That is available, and that's the way that we're meant to be, and we are going to create that, and we need to create that.
Working with ayahuasca and the other master plants.
The experience was really great for me. It helps me to see what is really important in my life. And I'm super happy because I feel like I opened my eyes.
That's powerful. Amazing. And you've obviously been working with amazing people, Don Miguel, the facilitators here. How have you found that?
It was really incredible too. Don Miguel had so much wisdom, and he knows a lot. And thanks to him, thanks to the facilitators, I also learned a lot.
And if you have one message to share with the world, what would it be?
Open your heart.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
You're in the jungle, you have to be sweat.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what's your experience with ayahuasca?
So this is my third time sitting with the mother. And what I can say about the mother is she will give you what we are ready for, not what we're expecting. And once you really have that respect and connection to the plants and understanding that it's not a fun trip, but it's actually something really, really powerful, it will heal you and it will open doors for you and give you that enlightenment that we're looking for, but also understanding that she's not going to save anyone because the work comes from us. But the work comes from us starting with the respect and understand why indigenous people has been used that for create all this knowledge, and that plant, that master plant, gave them all this knowledge from all the other medicines that they founded. So it's not something that is just going to be a fun experience, because then the mother will take you to a place that you don't want to go.
Yes. And how's your experience with Don Miguel and Ayahealing retreats?
Oh, Don Miguel. I have only worked with him only because I don't think there is anyone that can have his capacity of give so purely. And I know so many other people, but since the first time I came to work with Don Miguel, it was just how he really embraced the people and cares. And most importantly, I think when we are in this journey looking for the healing, the blue butterfly right there. We are in this journey for the healing. We are being hurt in life. And Don Miguel, it's going to be so gentle, so loving, that he won't hurt you, you know. And some people might believe that they need tough gurus, tough shamans, but I really believe the healing doesn't come for being hurt again. It comes being understand what the purity and love means. And Don Miguel is the meaning of that. And Ayahealing, they just care so much, and it's really individual treatment, even though you are in a group. They really look at you as an individual, and there is things you do as a community, but everything is really for you.
Yes, it's beautiful. And if you have one message to deliver from your heart to the world, what would that be?
What I can say to people would be, don't rush, don't rush. And the moment you understand that you are not in control even of your own healing, you are not in charge of decide what you should be doing, and really just come to your heart center and let this heal you, let this guide you, because it will take you to where you need to go, instead of us being contaminated by others' journey. Just because she had done this doesn't mean it's what I needed, but we ended up getting even lost on that. So I think the main words that I use with everybody. It's very simple. Be gentle.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sweaty.
Oh, don't worry, me too. Roll in.
So how has your experience been working with ayahuasca and all the master plants?
So my experience has been very heart-opening. I didn't really come in with any expectations. I had done my research but didn't want to box myself in. So if I didn't receive certain messages or insights, then I'd be disappointed with my whole experience. So just kind of surrendering to the process and staying open to the messages that is meant for me, and the lessons that I'd be receiving, and to kind of take that forward and implement it into my life. The master plants have been so powerful as well. That has blown my mind because I didn't, again, know really what to expect, but just feeling more connected to the energy, obviously being in the jungle, but to connect with the spirits of Noirau. My third ceremony was quite intense for me, so to like rely on that strength, and for her to kind of be the light for me, I found like real strength in that, so that was super magical.
Amazing. And it's been 11 days, today's the last day. What's your experience been like? Totally, so upsetting. What's your experience been like with the Aya retreat, Don Miguel, the facilitators?
It has honestly exceeded any of my expectations and more. Being surrounded by 14 beautiful souls within the retreat, we kind of arrived as strangers and we're leaving as like soul connections and family. Just Don Miguel, his whole energy and like his pureness of how he wants to just help as many people as he can, to hold the sacred space in the Maloka. The facilitators have been amazing as well, like just being able to rely on them and their wisdom and knowledge that they have to impart. Not only them, just everyone, even from the sharing circles. Like I've learned so much. I kind of don't want to leave. We need to just all stay together. But yeah, it's been an absolute 10 out of 10 experience. I definitely feel like I'm not done with Mother Aya. I will be back when the time is right. But it's just also been so amazing to kind of release trauma, all these limiting beliefs, and just kind of come back into my center, and
And do you have anything to share with the world?
I would say that everyone needs to work on themselves, because we need to do the work so we can uplift the energy and vibration, the consciousness. Like, this is the light seekers, or whatever name you want to put on it, but we all need to do our own part to just make this world a better place, because it's in dire need of more people healing themselves, and we all need to do this, like, seriously. In one way, shape or another, like whether it's ayahuasca or other plant medicines, everyone needs it.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
for sharing.
Thank you.
Just hold this because it's gonna fall. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Whoa! Oh!
Sorry. Hold up.
Granny! No, don't leave me again! returning to the busyness of Iquitos from the medicine of the jungle. It most certainly felt strange and sensitive. Not only that, our return flight had been completely cancelled and there were limited choices for us to get back to the UK, costing thousands and ridiculous travel times. It may have been frustrating, but we had seen this as an opportunity to relax and integrate what had happened in the last 11 days. But it was a wonderful surprise. Our group wanted to book Monkey Island, and so we experienced the boat trip across the waters to tour the sanctuary. This is a non-profit centre with volunteers dedicated to the protection and conservation of abandoned and orphaned monkeys. They rescue, rehabilitate and release back into the wild monkeys orphaned through the illegal animal trade.
There's like a quarantine period.
We was able to hold, play and enjoy some precious time with these little fluffy babies. It was a wonderful surprise and experience to the Peru trip. But it was our final full day to explore, as we was making our way to Cyprus to integrate further and spend some time with family.
You're a little bit more shy.
Everything happens for a reason. We definitely were supposed to have this flight cancelled coming back to London. And we were revealed some surprises that would have never happened back in England. We are here in Cyprus for an extra 9 days, soaking up the sun and minerals of the ocean. A trip under the lunar eclipse, the Ring of Fire. Hiking to the mountains and caves in Cyprus. We opened space for a cacao ceremony to call in blessings for our integration until the sunset appeared. That very night, under the sky full of stars, I proposed to Athena. It was also where our downloads of ascension activation began, the reveal of our path and blueprint that we have desired to puzzle piece for so long. It was an extremely magical trip to remember for the rest of our existence. We are excited to introduce our academy, podcast, upcoming retreat and services. The motherland has called us back home for some important work to embody and share with the world.
Thank you for watching our Ayahuasca documentary. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and like this video to help our channel grow and spread the medicine with the world. We are beyond excited and humbled by the gifts of the medicine from the jungle. And we look forward to bringing our mission to you with love, peace and gratitude.